supposed to do the same thing. I'm teaching my son how to cook. I teach my son how to use the washing machine, how to navigate himself, so that he doesn't have to settle for no woman, so that he doesn't need no woman. And he certainly is not going to need me when he becomes a man.
Like, a quick question, yeah? What do you think about, obviously, I come from Uganda, East Africa, yeah? And obviously, like, you know, a lot of our African, obviously, households, they've got these
Everyone has their
traditions.
roles. Yeah,
these roles and these traditions.
Same in the Caribbean background.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like, what are your thoughts on some of these traditions that basically clearly, you know, some of these traditions that clearly state, like, this is a man's role and this is a woman's role and these roles shouldn't get crossed? In terms of like cooking,
no, the roles should get crossed. The roles should get crossed. Because even when you're in a two-parent household, let's just say, yeah, okay, we know that when it comes down to the stuff inside the house, when it comes to the children, naturally the woman's going to navigate more, yeah, because we don't, especially our generation, we don't really come from the men navigating. We come from the men going to work, bringing home the bacon, the woman cooks it,
exactly,
and then she manages the kids. However, we're living in different times now, especially, which is especially why I don't believe in that term anymore. I think there's strength in it. I think there's strength in a woman having her role and a man having his role. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I do believe in the times that we're living now, man and woman need to know what man and woman do. Yeah? Especially because of the fact that most women, especially from my understanding in the black household, are doing it all. Yeah? We're going to work, we're cooking, we're cleaning, we're paying the bills, we're hanging shelves, we're laying flooring, we're putting up wallpaper, we're doing it all. So as far as I'm concerned, why does a man get like a easy run of it? A man shouldn't get an easy run of it. A man should know how to cook for himself and also cook for his children. Let's just say, you know, a man is in a different home from his children. What are you going to do? Teach your children that every weekend they come to you, you lot can buy takeaway. What are you going to do? Teach your children that when they come to your house, you send them home with their dirty clothes because that's not your role, that's your mum's role. That's not what you should be teaching your children. You should be teaching your children that they are as safe in your hands as they are in their mother's hands. And with that being said, that means that a man should be able to do everything that a woman should do. And a woman should be able to do at least close to what a man can do. We know physically that's not always necessary. You know what I mean? It's not always going to take place. I can't lift up my car and change the wheel, but I'm sure that there's some sort of apparatus that will allow me to lift up my car and change my wheel. So I'll figure it out. The same way a man might not know how to throw dinner on a Sunday is the same way, well, if you don't and your woman's sick, then you're going to go hungry and so your kids. So why are you not going to know to navigate yourself around the kitchen? So I do believe that we should incorporate all skills in order to navigate ourselves. And I don't think that man and woman being solely navigated to individual roles is what's going to make a successful household. I don't believe that.
Yeah, because even for me, like I've been living by myself. Yeah, obviously now I live with my family and that, but obviously because of to not say too much, of being in care, and you know sometimes when you go into the care system and obviously you end up obviously moving from one house to another, and you eventually get to a point where it's like you can live by yourself and you can get your own accommodation.
Because you learn those
things.
You
run, and it's like the first opportunity you get, it's like you just run out. So for me, even as a man, like for a very, very long time, I had to, obviously living by yourself, I've had to learn. I love cooking, by the way. I've had to learn how to cook and do all of these things. So even like me properly listening to you saying that, I can clearly like agree with you in a sense of like just take the man and the woman, the gender out of the way, but in terms of life skills,
because that's what they are. It's life skills.
Exactly. Literally like life skills.
That's my point.
Yeah, because sometimes I think when we speak about these kind of things, like the genders and all of these things blur the most important point of life skill. If you're a man, because again, if you're a man and one day you move, you know, you live by yourself, like all of these things come into practice. If you can cook, if you can clean, and you know all of these things, you can literally cut through.
You might not always have a woman.
Absolutely, exactly,
absolutely.
I mean? So like all of these things are literally like life skills. You get me?
Yeah, definitely.
Like I want to touch on like your modeling career. Modeling, you know, what's going on with that? Like, are you still modeling?
Do you know what?
And how's that been?
I've had a few labels like contact me, but my experience with modeling, has been like people send me stuff, and I model it because
I hear it. Come on,
what I do.
Come on,
you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of people lately that have contacted me wanting me to buy their product and then model it, which I'm not going to do. That's not a true model's job.
I hear it.
So
I tell them.
So I model every day, babes. Every time I leave my house.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Okay.
But yeah, so really, I'm just waiting for the right opportunity.
Okay.
Let's put it like that.
Okay. And obviously, it's funny because obviously, like modeling, yeah. Like for me, like every time I see the word or I hear the word, for me, the first thing that comes up into my head is somebody walking down the catwalk, right?
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah,
obviously, there's
it's
different,
flows,
exactly, we live in a different age,
Yeah,
you know,
we
in different
do.
times where there's different types of modeling.
I'm a very curvy female, so I'm not really equipped to be on the catwalk. I'm not a stick, so no. But I am extremely charismatic, and I could sell ice to an Eskimo.
Come on, you can sell ice.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, you know,
What
if people want me to sell their products by wearing it or using it, then I'll happily do that.
Is what you're wearing now? Are you modeling for anyone right now?
Nah, just doing me today.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you, man. And I even wanted to go back to your business, your business mindset, like, what's going on now? Like, are you working on anything new, or you're just pursuing things that you got? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm also pursuing what I do anyway.
Yeah.
So like, you know, if opportunities come to perform, and I'm really feeling it, or there's pay involved, then obviously I'm gonna go and do it.
Yeah.
I'm still writing poetry. I have a book that I'm yet to release that's ready for release, really. But I just really want to get the right publishing deal. For that, so that's kind of sitting at the moment. I have a little something that I'm starting out that I won't speak on yet, but the release date should be next month, which hopefully will have me earning money in my sleep. That's the plan. And other than that, I just do other stuff, care work, clean it, whatever it's going to take for me to be able to be at home at school run, give my kids a cooked meal every day.
Love that.
Make sure that I'm able to show up to my son's practice, pick him up, do all that jazz. Make sure that my daughter has extra activities after school. So every day is different for me. Whether I'm doing hair, whether I'm taking care of other people's children, whether I'm mentoring teenagers, whether I'm cleaning, whether I'm au pairing for a family. Literally, like, I do all kinds of things. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a bit crazy in my world.
No, it sounds like a beautiful world at the same time.
But it is beautiful. No day's the same. I would
Yeah.
hate to do the same thing every day. I think I would go mad. I do.
Yeah. And even like just touching on a little bit about publishing and like, have you obviously you said like you've got a book that you've got coming out. Like have you ever published like a book out or helped anyone publish their book?
No,
like,
and obviously I've looked into it.
Yeah.
So the reason why I don't want to do self-publishing is because I don't have the time to advertise myself. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to find a good deal that's, under maybe $1,000, and then so that they do everything basically.
Because I can't lie, one day, not even one, and I'm sure these things are going to happen, but me, I always say like the universe always, me, I just need to just keep on doing what I'm doing, and things will happen
100%.
eventually along the journey.
God will open doors for you.
Yeah, I definitely want to write a few books in future as well.
You should.
100%.
Listen, I believe when you've been through certain things in life and you've come out the other end, it's your duty to share that. It's your duty.
Absolutely.
Each one teach one. I'm big on that.
Yeah. And even touching on quickly, like on mentoring, you get me? Like when I say the word mentor, like what's the first thing that comes up in your head? And what does mentoring mean to you in general?
Helping adults and young people find the right path for them.
Yeah, that's very important. Because when I was at school, I had some good mentors, man.
I had incredible mentors when I was at school, and I wouldn't be the adult that I am today, I don't think, if I hadn't have had those mentors, for sure. I think mentor jobs are important. A lot of the time young people look up to their mentors, they respect their mentors. And for me, the sort of work that I've done is helping young people find self-esteem, helping young people love on themselves again, you know what I mean, after trauma, war, helping people get back into education, finding the things that they love, also helping young people communicate what's on their heart, I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I think I have a knack for that. And I think it's because of all the crap that I've been through as a young person. You know what I mean? And I'm able to see it. I'm able to look on a young person and see the pain. And then I'm also able to navigate myself to the heart. You know what I mean? And start cracking away at it, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, God gave me that gift. So I use it when I can.
Yeah. And you know that poetry, yeah? Like, is it like, because sometimes, yeah, before, believe it or not, yeah, before I used to just say some random stuff. So now, obviously, I'm thinking before I speak, like with certain things, yeah?
Okay.
Like, you see with poetry, yeah? Is it kind of like a dying art, or it depends on the type of person that you are? Meaning, if you look for it, it's there. If you look for the people that do poet, you get what I'm trying to say, poetry is there.
Poetry is a big field for
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah,
100%.
how is, yeah, like in your reality, like how is poetry, like, and obviously,
Poetry is a huge
even
field
for you
poetry.
personally, like in terms of like the poems that you write, and where are you with all of that in general in terms of poetry? Yeah.
There's a huge field for poetry.
Okay.
There's so many spoken
So you
word
just,
nights.
you just need to look for it.
Yeah, you just need to look for it, and I'm telling you, you'll find it. You'll find some incredible poets.
Okay.
You really will.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a market for it, man. You just gotta look for it. Literally, just type in spoken word events, and you'll see the amount of stuff that come up.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, poetry. Like, are you, obviously, again, you do a lot of things in it. So like, when you, how much like time do you consciously try to make time for poetry, or sometimes, you know, like obviously it just flows out, you get, you know.
I'm an ebb and flow human being.
Yeah, how does that work in terms of like you making time for?
I could be anywhere. I could be sitting in my car at the traffic lights, and 2 lines come, and I'll grab my phone.
That's proper.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then it will go, and I might not get back to that for another 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, I could be in the bath and chilling quietly, and all of a sudden I'm just getting poetry, or I'm thinking about something in particular, and then a poetic line will follow. You know what I mean? And then I write it down.
Okay.
I find that when I'm alone, when I'm by myself, even away from my children,
Yeah.
and I'm in complete peace, is when I'm usually able to flow with my creativity way more than any other time.
Okay.
So it's really about being in that space of peace, and as a single parent, I don't get that often. So I try to utilize the small moments, even if it's just sitting on the toilet, because we get to be in the bathroom by ourselves, you know what I mean? Sometimes that I just let it out then, really, you know?
Yeah. And I just wanted to ask you, like, you see, like, what are your thoughts on, you know, like currently, you know, the world, the reality that we live in?
Why are you asking me that?
And the only reason why I asked you that,
I'm like, you don't need to start talking about politics.
Yeah. And the only reason why I asked, because I'll be honest with you, as somebody who comes from like a big family, like originally, and I've got 3 kids, I've always said I want more kids, But the older I get, and the more things that I see, the more educated I get, the more things that people bring to me in terms of like, chef, check this out, all of these things. Honestly, even me, what I'm about to say, I feel even sad saying this, but the honest truth is, I don't even think I want any more kids because of this
Because of the state of the world,
big man thing.
One of my brothers has only got 1 kid because of the state of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without getting into it, but I know it's because of how he sees the world.
Yeah.
I would love to have more children, but the state of the world has me in fear of having more children.
Literally.
Yeah, I don't. It's tough because I've got things to say, but I'm like.
Yeah. Now, only say what you want to say, honestly, and take your time as well.
I think that we're in dire times, man.
Yeah.
I think that we're in seriously troubling times, and if we don't hurry up and learn to think for ourselves, excuse the expression, but we are fucked. Especially the Western world, and I mean the Western world, because every other country like India, like Africa, they haven't lost their heritage, they haven't lost their culture. The Western world is lost completely.
You know, I sound crazy.
Yeah.
Even me, sometimes I need to watch some of the shit that I say,
Yeah.
So, isn't it crazy that certain people, or even certain people from like different countries with heritage, with a certain structure, isn't it crazy that some of those people still look at us who live in the Western world, like, it's lit, like London is lit. They're free. This keyword, they're free. They've got this freedom to do bare shit, everything they want. Obviously, because we live in London where there's so many different cultures,
yeah.
so many different religions.
Yeah.
But in this country, that this kind of like this freedom where it's like a lot of people feel like they can do, obviously to a certain degree. You understand? They
You're
feel
less
like,
free in the Western world, and anyone who
talk
has
to
real
us, talk to
knowledge
us.
should
Yeah,
know that.
talk to us. You know, some
Like-
people look at it and feel like, look at us in in these Western worlds, and some of them without that that much knowledge feel like, right, these are free. Da, da, da,
No,
da,
we're
it's lit.
enchained. We're shackled.
How many people died to try to come? You get me to
We
London?
are shackled.
Talk
The
to them,
Western
man.
world, we are shackled. Those of us who are, those people who are walking in the matrix, which is near enough the whole of the Western world, America, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
England, wherever, they're not walking in their own truth. And people who are not in the Western world, they are way more authentic than people who are, in the countries that we reside in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like, let's just use simple examples. For instance, we got to go to work 9 to 5 and work for somebody else while the other person gets rich. And instead of most people thinking, well, I have this talent and I have that talent and there's enough money for everybody, why would I not start my own business? Mm-hmm. The lack mentality that most people have in the Western world forbids them from stepping outside of the zone. I'm not even going to say comfort zone, because if you truly knew yourself, then you would know what your comfort zone is. But I don't think most people in the Western world knows their comfort zone. Therefore, they're all like sheep and robots while we get barked at or while we get programmed to do what is beneficial to the government. Okay? Okay, I got it out. Yeah. So with that being said, I like to think of the fact that I work for myself is more reasons than just obviously being able to show up for my kids. I absolutely refuse to be told how to live by anyone.
Have you come up to a conclusion,
Yeah.
And if so, how do you feel about this, Have you come up to a conclusion that listen carefully,
Okay.
that not everybody can be saved in terms of
course.
however you want to look at it, mentally, spiritually,
100%.
and if you've come up to a conclusion, that how do you feel about living amongst, raising kids amongst these kind of people, some of them who are still brainwashed and they're never going to be saved.
It's tough.
You understand?
I'm moving.
Yeah.
But
that's for
don't
different.
know that.
Yeah, that's for a
Keep that
different story.
the private part of the
Yeah.
podcast.
But just in
I'm
just in
taking
general,
my son out of it because I think that both my kids obviously, but I think that it's London. I feel like the Western world is horror. That's like I don't really know how it's. Look at what's going on with our children.
crazy.
Every day we have young people dying. If we are not seeing a pandemic in that, but we're seeing a pandemic in the fact that people are dying from flu and people have been dying from flu since 19 long time. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Did you not see Southend the other day? There's kids running around with big machete blades,
Crazy.
trying to cut each other. What are we living in? You know what I mean? Like I feel like every day I get up and I try my best to not watch the news, because when I watch the news I feel like, am I in a completely separate world? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because and the reason why I say that,
I feel like that's sorry to even cut you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I feel that sometimes, especially like for me, I made a decision a good few years ago that there's certain things that if I see them on the news or on social media, there's certain things that are not good for me mentally to take in.
Yeah.
And when I say this, I don't mean this in a selfish way, but I came out to a conclusion and I said, until I build a platform big enough where I can actually make a change or reach out to certain people who can help me to make a change, there's no point for me to keep on seeing a lot of these things.
It's not just that though. People who have deeper understand that the news is really propaganda.
Yeah.
It's narrated for us to have a particular opinion on how society works, how society looks, how we should show up in society. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I try not to watch the news. Not saying I don't keep up with what's going on in the world, because there's people out there with private podcasts, i.e. like Russell Brand, that will tell us things that's going on in the world and have his own opinion on what he thinks. And states facts, which allows you to have your own opinion, your your own informative opinion.
Yep.
Right, of what's actually going on. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a difficult thing to navigate, but I don't think anyone should watch mainstream media.
Yeah. Cool. I just want to say, Jordan, yeah, you know, before we conclude,
Yeah.
once again, like, one of my famous lines, to be fucking fair, I never made up this famous line, innit? But
Yeah.
the famous line goes, obviously, you know, when you give people, you know, like, when you give people your time, that's the most precious thing you can ever give to people, right? Your time.
Yeah.
So even with you, I want to say, honestly, like, thank you so much,
very
honestly,
welcome.
for, you know,
It's been
for
a
giving me your
pleasure.
time and for coming down onto the red chair, you know, and having this beautiful conversation with me, yeah?
It's nice, no problem
You know,
at all. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. We'll link up definitely soon
Yeah,
again.
of course.
And
Shout me.
I'm definitely going to shout at you again, yeah?
Okay.
And even before we go, I just want to give you, you know, just an opportunity before we conclude, you know,
Yeah.
maybe if there's anything that you like to say, it could be anything, maybe like, yeah, it could basically be anything. Like, is there anything you'd like to say to the people, anything you'd like to promote? Literally anything. Or even like some words of wisdom before we go.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe some words of wisdom.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
firstly, you can find me on all social media platforms. That's
Yeah.
under Jordan Music __1 or Geordie Jordan with 3 I's. Also, I'd like to say we're all healing from something. Yeah. And it's important that we are patient with ourselves and we take the time to really delve into the things that we don't like about ourselves and the things that we want to change about our world so that we can have a more fruitful life ahead. That's all.
Oh, good, yeah. Honestly, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, you
It's
too.
beautiful outside. And once again, man, Jordan,
It is. Thanks for having me.
God bless you, man. Queen energy. Honestly, see you later. Take care. God
Bye,
bless
bye,
you. Yeah?
bye.
Bye.